banana stalks crafting skills in Nakorn Thai
สวัสดีค่ะดิฉันนางสาวทุมดีอินจันค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะดิฉันนางสาวกมลพิชชมเรือง
สวัสดีค่ะดิฉันนางสาวปัสมาจันทคุณ
สวัสดีค่ะดิฉันนางสาวชดิรัตน์นอบเจริญค่ะ
banana stalks crafting skills in Nakorn Thai Phitsanulok Province What is heritage or cultural heritage of Nakorn Thai is actually the banana stalk crafting. So it's crafting of the banana stalks, which is traditional to Nakorn Thai. In the past, the banana stalk crafting is a part of the pre-ordination parade. It is a decoration on that particular, and it's dependent on the carver or the craftsman. So in order to create the design. So banana stalks that are used is actually stalks from wild banana trees. So because it's has nice color, and so before actually starting with the crafting or the carving, they're going to pay respect to the ancestors, and they call this ceremony Khao Khai. So after the Khao Khai ceremony, the carver is going to chant and actually make the holy water in order to use that water to spray on the stalks before they start crafting or carving. So this particular, you can see the stalks being decorated, and on the pre-ordination ceremony, also with the hardwood and also the traditional cloth. So the value of actually this banana stalk crafting, even though this is actually only a recreational activity, it is actually has the moral and social values to our community. So it has been passed on from generations to generations, and we want this particular tradition to pass on. The communities in Nakorn Thai. Nakorn Thai has 13 villages located in Nakorn Thai district, the Phitsanulok Province. The communities, most of them are farmers and civil servants. So historically, Nakorn Thai actually appeared in the stone inscription in Mahatha, and also in Wat Khao Lak, and in Bali, it's called Nakorn Khoi. It is the community, prehistoric community. And also as the city colonized by Phitsanulok, which is actually dominant in the past in the northern part. So Nakorn Thai became sub-district much later. So we believe that it is actually been ruled by Paul Kunsi Intaratit. So this particular cultural heritage is not actually very evident because there's not a lot of craftsmen who still live, and no one is actually teaching this particular skills, and they are getting old. So when we enter the community to collect the research, we have friends who actually are in the community to be able to communicate the stories. So when we did conduct the interview with Lung Chao Tsap Yu, Lung Patum Yot Dong Chan, and we conducted the interview, one of the people who teaches this craft, or Kun So we have also interviewed Kun Supapan Wong Sombat, who is a teacher in the Nakorn Thai school, who is interested on the information of this particular tradition. So after actually interviewing all this, we have actually proposed the idea of this particular ICH. So this particular activity that we are aiming is actually setting up the page on Facebook to actually promote this tradition and the designs and the history behind this crafting, and also the process of this. So in order to do this project, it's going to encourage all the communities or those interested to be interested in banana stalk crafting, and will add additional income to the community. So this particular And also we want assistant. So this is going to add additional income for us.
แล้วว่ามันบ่มีแล้วทำไงเนาะยิ่งดีๆมักสนับสนุนใช่ไหม
ค่ะไม่คิดกันวางแผนกันมาอย่างนี้
นะ
So this is what we're planning. So this project of this we have done this every year, and this project we have invite the local sage to actually give information and teach them about this crafting skills. And one of the things that we need to have all the time is actually this tradition. It is actually dependent on us, on how much we want to learn. So we can actually find out the designs that we find on those sedents and being able to adapt it and trying to master it. If you practice a lot, you're going to make beautiful designs and being able to hone your skills with that. This particular project, we have conducted this particular project on the banana stalking crafting. We have the objective of setting up the Facebook page in order to serve as a platform for this particular heritage. So we are going to, in the beginning, before that, we have done the planning, and then before going down into the field study to collect information from the local sage in the Nakorn Thai district. After we have all the information, we will actually name the page and set up this learning platform through Facebook. The fourth step is that we want to communicate all the information onto the Facebook page. So people who are going to be involved are the people in the communities. Second is the local sage, and the third is the youth and people interested. So how are we going to steer this page forward? So we're going to post pictures and information on this. We also would like to do a video clip of the banana stalk crafting. Then if we have some jobs coming in, hiring them, contracting them for this crafting, we'll go in and film. So this particular banana stalking crafting is going to be promoted and it's going to be passed on, and the local communities will be able to make more income. So we are going to, hand in hand, also parallelly building the website, and they can be able to generate more income. And thank you very much, UNESCO, for giving us the opportunity. I also thank Dr. Chumpon Senapat from Rajapat Pibun Songkram, or he is the dean, and also the Deputy Dean from Pibun Songkram, and Dr. Panumat Mongsin, who is actually our consultant advisor. And thank you everyone who is actually participating in this particular event. So thank you, Tuamrueng Injan, one of the members from Banana Stalks Crafting Skills from Nakorn Thai. So now I'd like to invite the honorary commentators. First, Kun Wilani Sata, Senior Vice President from Government Savings Bank. So from the GSB Bank headquarters, so we are responsible for the heritage or cultural heritage development. So we do have similar project, which is called Omsin Yuapat Raktin. We take students and to develop their efforts in the local communities. So thank you very much for your presentation. We commend you. I have a question that when you build the web page for them or the Facebook page for them, how can this particular page be sustainable? Is there anyone in the community who can be responsible for managing? So we are connected with one of the nieces of the local sage. Another thing that we do is we want to provide a YouTube channel. And then, so even if like, after the project is done, the video will remain on YouTube and the information and the skills and these heritage will remain online. One of the most important thing is actually the sustainability part of it. So I think it's important for the needs of that local sage to become a part. So please, Kun Kaylin, Youth Collab of UNDP.
Right. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much, Toomwadee, for your wonderful presentations. And I think through the translations as well, I've got to know the whole ideas very well. But for me, I'm very curious. I think you have very good passions, and then you also explain the importance why this is, an important cultural heritage. But for me, I feel like if you want to make it compelling and convincing, one thing that I'm curious to learn is why right now a lot of people are not paying attention to this tradition. So I'm curious if you can elaborate on that a little bit more. And one more thing, I feel like just to share my opinion and advice. I feel like if you can tell a good story of either the craftsmen or people who are still embrace this traditional culture, it will be more compelling to your audience as well. Because I think as a young person, you enjoy stories, right? Either is a video format or audio format. Story is something that bring everyone together. So I don't know if you can also here just quickly elaborate a bit with me. Why do you think, from your observation, why these traditions has less and less people are practicing?
ก็สำหรับข้อมูลต่างๆที่เป็นเรื่องเล่าของจากปราชญ์ชาวบ้านตรงนี้นะคะหนูได้ทำการบันทึกวิดีโอไว้หมดแล้วค่ะแล้วก็คิดไว้ว่าตัวนี้ค่ะจะเอาไปลงในตัวเพจเมื่อทำเพจเสร็จแล้วค่ะก็คือจะลงเป็นเรื่องเล่าของปราชญ์ชาวบ้านแต่ละท่านก่อนเป็นการเกริ่นแรกๆของเพจแล้วก็ข้อมูลต่างๆก็จะลงในเพจหมดเลยค่ะตอนนี้หนูบันทึกไว้หมดแล้วค่ะทั้งวิดีโอทั้งข้อมูลประวัติความเป็นมาต่างๆของช่างแต่ละคนค่ะ
I think the last commentators, please, Kun Julia Kim Davies, director from British Council.
Hi, thanks everyone. Good afternoon. Very nice to be here, and thank you so much for your presentation. It was a really interesting journey you took me on the banana stalks in Nakorn Thai. So I've learned an awful lot from your presentation. I think I also agree with Kaylin. I think storytelling is such a crucial way of kind of passing on information and making that information really come alive and compelling. And I think that's a really good point. I mean, I think the way that you're using social media and using a Facebook as your learning platform is obviously a really strong way to engage in kind of engaging the youth in, kind of the promotion of keeping the banana stalk crafting alive going forward. So I think that's a really, it's a very good way to do that. I kind of think you're going to have to keep making new content, obviously, to keep that Facebook page alive and interesting. And maybe that could be a challenge going forward. So yeah, I think you're just going to have to keep those stories coming to keep your audiences really engaged. But I think you're going to get a very good reach across, beyond the local community by engaging with social media. So I think your approach has been is applauded. Thank you.
So the reason of this skills or this craft is actually not getting a lot of attention because people in the community, they think, the banana salt crafting is actually very hard. It's taking a lot of time. They think it's too difficult. So they think it's like, it belongs to the people who are in older generation, and it doesn't really generate much income. So it's people are not really interested. So, but when I went into community, I actually realized it really can generate income, and it's not a difficult skills, if everyone is has perseverance.